Hi there, my name is Trinity, and today I'm going to be taking you through some of my auto-buy authors. We all have those authors we love. People where we see their name on the cover and we're like, oh, I'm gonna buy that. So today I'm gonna take you through some of my auto-buy authors. We are gonna start off with my favorite category, the creme de la creme, the love of my life. We are going to start with fantasy. So let's just start doing that. Obviously, we have Sarah J. Maas. Obviously. I own 16 books by Miss Sarah J. Maas, and I'm gonna get 2 more because I want to get all of the other ones in these beautiful new covers, which I love and I cherish. I love all her books, and I got them all when they were first coming out. I love her so much. I'm sure if she releases anything else, I'm gonna buy it automatically. She's just such a great storyteller, and I don't need to explain Sarah J. Maas to you. It's impeccable. She's just amazing. She's just so good, and I love her so dearly, and I feel like this speaks for itself. And it's the fact that I'm considering buying the new Throne of Glass covers when I own the old ones. I own these ones because I read them when they first came out, and I'm considering rebuying all the new covers and reading all of those as well. So that's fun. Here's a good spot, right? Next, we have a lady who needs no introduction, Miss Cassandra Clare. May I hear it? Miss Cassandra Clare is the author of, oh my god, also those. I own so many Cassandra Clare books, it's ridiculous. She could write a grocery list and I will be buying it. Her worlds are so fantastical, they're so amazing. I'm so connected to the characters, it's such a nostalgic feeling. Anything Cassandra Clare releases, I will be buying. I also will be buying, I think it's called Swordcatcher is her next book, and it's coming out November. I will be buying that. I own 25 books by Miss Cassandra Clare, and I am not ashamed. I will add more to that. I will 1000% be adding more to that. She's actually a goddess. I love Cassandra Clare. If you don't know who Cassandra Clare is, she wrote the entire Shadowhunters universe, and that's all you need to know. She's starting a new series, and I also hear we're getting 3 more Shadowhunters books, and then she's done with the world, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because it takes up so much of my shelf. I love her. Another one of my auto-buy authors, and this is kind of a new one, is Stephanie Garber, my queen, my lord, my savior. I love her. Holy crap, she is the author of, let me just go grab them. She is the author of these lovely books right here. I've read all of these books this year. I just started reading her in March, I think. I've read the entire Carvel trilogy in March, loved it, devoured it, obsessed with her writing. It transports me into another world. This series, that's not what this video is. This video is about talking with the authors. She's wonderful, she's fantastical, she's charismatic, she's a weird thing about vampires, but they're not in her books, you know? I just love Stephanie Garber. I think I would read whatever she wrote, and I will be reading whatever she writes. I love Stephanie Garber. Oh my god. I also only own 5 books by her because that is all she's released, and I'm gonna keep reading her. And that's about it for my fantasy authors, my fantasy to be read authors. So let's move on to romance. Over this last year, I've gotten very into reading romance books. So I've definitely discovered some authors that I really, really love. My auto-buy romance authors, let's just get into it. Emily Henry. I don't need to say anything else. She picks my brain and puts it in a book and then makes me care about all the characters in the book, and then it hurts my soul, and then I want to reread all of them. Like, I already read and then reread Happy Place this year, and I want to reread it again. She's also just announced that she has a new book coming out next April 2024, and I can't wait. She's just so amazing. Her banter, her characters, everything about it just brings my brain joy, and I love her dearly. And I only own 4 Emily Henry books because Emily Henry only has 4 books right now, but as soon as that 5th one comes out, you best bet I will be snatching that out of her hands. I love it. My next auto-buy author is Elsie Silver, obviously my Calgary queen, my Canadian romance cowboy dreams. I love Elsie Silver. She is the author of the Chestnut Spring series and the Gold Rush Ranch series. 2 here that I have not read yet. She has a total of 8 books so far, and she's coming out with a 5th one in the Chestnut Spring, so I will own 9 books by Elsie Silver. I love the way she writes. She's so spicy and charismatic, and I love the way her characters are. It's also cowboys, it's also ranches. In the Gold Rush Ranch series, we have horses, and the horses, I swear to God, are like actual people. How charismatic they are. Love the horses. I also love the Chestnut Spring series more than anything in this life. I'm addicted to these characters. I'm gonna cry when it's over. She knows what I want, you know? So I will obviously be getting more Elsie Silver. And last, but certainly not least, in the romance category, I have Hannah Grace, the author of Icebreaker. She only has 1 book. The second one comes out in October. And let me tell you, when I am obsessed, I already know for a dang fact anything this author puts out, I will be living for and loving for and breathing for. I do not know what it is. She puts so many subjects and so many things into her novels. They feel like complex real life people in real life situations, and it's also a little silly, it's a little goofy, it's a spicy good time. The way she writes reignites my passion for reading, and if Hannah Grace can do that with me in her first debut novel, I have a feeling she will not disappoint me ever. So please don't disappoint me, Wildfire, when you come out. So I only have this 1 book by her, but I already know. Auto-buy author, you know? My next category is young adult authors, YA authors, obviously. And the first one I'm going to talk about is K.l Walther, who is the author of What Happens After Midnight and The Summer of Broken Rules. Those are pretty sure the only 2 books I know by her, but I just know if she releases another book, I'm going to read it. Her books are so fun and so cutesy and so wonderful. Both of them just involve adventure and summer, and it just brings out such like a little childhood wonder in me, honestly. It makes me really care for people. I have a really good time anytime I read her books. She just has a really good way of doing that to you. If K.l Walther writes more books, I will be there for them. Another auto-buy author, obviously. I also own just the one, but I've read both. The next auto-buy author I'm going to speak about is Miss Morgan Matson. I currently only have 4 books by her. I have, however, read I believe her entire backlist except for her latest release. I only own the 4 though at the moment. I think the 5th one's at the trailer somewhere. I don't know. Morgan Matson is a young adult author, obviously, and she's written quite an array of books, from making me cry at 10 a.m., 10 p.m., for making me cry profusely for hours, to having me giggling and laughing with intrigue and desire, from also having a theater kid. Morgan Matson does it all, and she knows the way to create friendships and stories and characters who are kind of outcasted, and just knows how to tie them in together and make really awesome friendships. She also has fun, summery-esque adventures in all of her books, and no one ever talks about Morgan Matson, but as a young adult author, I think she's phenomenal, and I highly suggest her books, and she's definitely an auto-buy author for me. Okay, and then my last and final section for auto-buy authors is fiction. So my first author in fiction, I have Frederick Backman, or Frederick Backman. Don't know how you say his name, but I love his writing. He is the author of Fairtown series, and I only have read the first one, and I only am going to read the first one because it just lives a special place in my heart, and I don't want to ruin it by reading the rest of the series. That's my little spiel. Anyway, Anxious People and A Man Called Ove. I only own the 3 Frederick Backman books. I just know in my heart of hearts that the way he writes is just so wonderful. I don't have a lot of male authors on my shelf, but he's definitely one of them that I connect with as a reader. I think he has such a quirky way of writing, and I've always found his characters so endearing and so complex and so real. Like Anxious People, I feel like is the most I've ever connected with a character in a book, and it's so wonderful. He always has like what seems to be such a simple plot line, and it's always the cast of characters and the little stories they go through and their pasts that make up such a wonderful story, and I really appreciate that about Frederick Backman, and I think that's why I'm going to keep coming back to his books and buying more and reading more. So he's definitely an auto-buy author for me. And then my last and final author that I'm going to talk about is Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is obvious. She's very popular. She's written a lot of book talk famous books. I currently only own 5 by her. Of course, I've got Carrie Soto, Malibu Rising, Evelyn Hugo, and Daisy Jones and the Six. Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my favorite books ever, and it will continue and forever and ever and ever be one of my favorite books ever. And Taylor Jenkins Reid is just, I don't even know. The way she explains things, it's just so wonderful to my brain, and I really appreciate her storytelling and her little interconnected universe that she kind of has. I know she has a lot more books and like the older books, but I have read one of her first books on her backlist, maybe in Another Life, and I really didn't like it, but I think as an author, she's definitely progressed very well and improved on her writing, and I really appreciate her. And of course, her latest release, Carrie Soto Is Back, was just amazing. So I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is just gonna be one of those authors that I auto buy. As soon as she has something, I'm gonna snatch it up. Oh my God! Ah! It's an earwig.
What?
I've lured him, go. Okay, now that traumatizing experience is over, that's all I have for today's video. I would love if you guys could share some of your auto-buy authors, maybe suggest some new ones. I do feel like I'm still kind of a new reader, even though I've been reading my whole life, but I feel like I stick to my classics and I never really expand my horizons. So I'd love if somebody could suggest a few authors that they absolutely love. Maybe if you've read these authors, which book is your favorite by them? But I would just love if you could engage, click, like, subscribe, all those beautiful things you obviously know how to do. Without further ado, I hope you get lots of love, give lots of kisses, and just have the best day ever. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.